Alright, it is officially time to set fire to this stock. I'm just going to burn the surface a little bit. I'm excited because this is really like the last big step. The gluing on the greeblies is only going to take a few seconds. Maybe. I mean, it's just glue. But I got to burn this, I got to stain it, I got to oil treat it, and then we put the greeblies on. And then it's done. So let me pull this stock off because I don't want to burn it with the metal on here. And I think I'm going to try leaving these escutcheon fasteners in there while I'm burning, but we'll see how that goes. I got a tub of water, got a paper towel folded up, and fire extinguisher. We're gonna play with fire. We can at least be semi-safe. Alright, it's still smoking a little bit. Alright, so now that it's burnt, greebly's going to go about here, another greebly up here. I kind of want to have burned area around that. Same thing for this side. It's gonna have that orange that you see on the prop, but it's not gonna be for no reason, because why would the stock be rusty? That doesn't make sense, right? So it's gonna be the wood grain that's gonna be the orange, and then I'm gonna be using the stain to make the little gray spots as well. At least that's the theory. I might hit this a little bit darker. It seems a little light. Maybe it's just dry. Oh, it's just dry. It's just dry. Never mind. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to let this dry naturally, and then I'll come back and stain it. Actually, I'm really happy about how this is turning out. I think it looks great. I know it's not accurate, but whatever. I feel like this is in spirit with the actual prop makers who made the movie. They're going fast. They're doing, whatever they could to make it. There's little bits of paper towel all over this. Sorry, I'm totally distracted by wiping all the little bits of paper towel that stuck to it. But they were just slapping things together as quick as they can. That's why some of these props kind of look a little sloppy, but I feel like that adds to the character, that adds to the world. And so doing something like this kind of feels like it fits, even though it's not how they did it. Because their stock wasn't even wood; it was a resin casting. So, yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'm gonna let this cool a bit longer. It smells wonderful. I don't think this stuff is working. It doesn't smell the same. It's still nasty. But it's not turning the wood gray like before. Like before, it was dramatic. Before, like the wood was like legit gray. That's unburnt wood, and then this is like burnt plus that. But this is like legit gray, and like that didn't really seem to do anything. So maybe I need to make more. I'm definitely tossing this. This is yuck. Unfortunately, that means waiting. Gotta wait for that reaction to turn this into that stain that's gonna turn the wood green. It's just vinegar and steel wool, and wait a couple days, turns brown, paint it on, turns to wood gray. Did that in an earlier video. I don't remember which one it was. I've got like 14 videos on this series, so I just want this done. Alright, it's been several days. It's, I think, the 27th of December, so a couple days after Christmas. For some reason, that reaction for the steel wool and vinegar is not happening. I don't know why. Last time it took 3 days and it was dark in color and very, very effective, and this, it's like it almost wants to float, and I don't know. Same thing, but different results. But I do think that the stuff I did put on did actually work to some degree, but to a much, much lesser degree. I just noticed that in the crevices where I didn't put it, that goes under the metal part that where it attaches to the stock, the wood is much warmer color, and then where I did put it, it's much duller and grayer looking. It's not much, but it is grayer looking. So let me show you that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this True Oil on, and I'm probably only going to do 1 or 2 coats of that, because I don't want a high gloss finish, and it is a polymerizing oil finish. So basically you put on a coat, you basically rub it on with your finger, you let it dry, you put on another one, and then you have to sand, I think, with 320, and then you put it on third, fourth, and it builds up a coating, and it can be a very high gloss finish. Think like gun stocks. That's actually what it's used for mostly, but people also use it for guitar bodies. So those, guitar bodies, a lot of times they'll do a True Oil finish, and it's very warm, but also very high gloss, and gives a lot of depth. I don't want high gloss. I want it flat, but I still want it protected. So I'm just going to do 1 or 2, because I think I can get it flat or satin, which is where I want to be. That turned out really well. I just washed my hands. They're actually still sticky. That oil makes your hands very sticky. But it has a nice, camera's not picking it up, just a tiny bit of sheen to it. The end grain really absorbs a ton. So I put a lot on here and a lot in here, because that's where you're going to be making the most contact. Your thumb is going to rest there, and your shoulder would be resting here. You're probably not going to be handling too much of this, but I think this dries fairly quickly if I remember, and then you can apply a second coat. I don't remember. I'll have to look again, but I may not do a second coat. I don't really want it shiny. I want it to be flat, so this might be as far as I go. I'm going to think on it. I'm going to go read the directions on how long this has got to sit. Oh no, it says right here. Allow dry thoroughly between coats. 2 24 hours may be required depending on conditions. So I gotta wait a day, maybe 2. So a couple days before I can do another round. Well, I'm an idiot. I was playing with my little greebly. Discovered that it's a little bit warped because it wouldn't lay flat, and I snapped it into 2 pieces. And I just sold off my spares, so I'm not sure that I can repair this one because it's warped for one, so it's not going to lay flat. So I'm thinking I gotta cast new ones, and I'm not sure that my resin is any good. I think crisis averted. My resin was good. Didn't have to spend $30 on tiny little jars of resin, which is always nice. Actually, I think it was the silicone that goes bad really quick. So that resin, totally fine. It's curing up, looks great. I actually really like applying that resin into the mold with the pipette. That worked out great. It was also a great way to measure. I didn't get stuff on the threads of the jars, and unlike from before where it was all crusty and I had to use those channel locks to unscrew that one lid because it was so gunked up. I need to see if I can figure out a way to clean that up. Like that's really inconvenient. Anyway, let me know if somebody else has done that before, where they've used a pipette to very precisely apply resin into a mold. I really like it because I kind of could push the resin and make it flow where I wanted it to go. So that was really cool. And I got a precise amount, which is just right at the top of the level, so I'm not going to have to sand a bunch off the back. I could pop any bubbles right off the top. I don't know. It seemed pretty nice. We'll see how it turns out. That'll be the real test. All right, so got another day I have to wait on the stock. It's got the one coat of the True Oil, and I like the way it looks. It's flat. It's got just a tiny bit of sheen. It's got a little satin look to it. It needs one more day to cure, though. That's why I was kind of fooling around with those greeblies. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to get these greeblies out. I got to make sure I know where I'm going to put them. And then I noticed the one was warped. I'm like, oh, maybe if I try and bend it, it'll lay flat and then snap right in two. Everybody wants that. I'll tell you what. I will ship it to you. You can have this for free. A little memento. First come, first serve. I'm not going to make more and snap them in half for you guys. But, yeah. Anyways, I'll be back tomorrow with the stock finished, and the glue will be set up, so I'll be able to start applying the greeblies. I'm going to do one side at a time because I got to flip it over. I don't want the glue to make it flip off, just sag or whatever. Anyway, that's it. I'm done talking. Alright, so I've got that greebly primered up. Stuck to this board, I just gotta paint it black. I actually want to get this prop done before 2021. It is the 31st of December. I have about 7 hours left to get it done. Luckily, once this is painted black, the only thing I gotta do is stick the greeblies on the body of the EE3, you know, the stock ones, and then the ones that go on the side of the Webley cast. So really there's not much. It's very, very doable. I'm going to start off by painting this black so it can set up a little bit, and then I'm going to attach the greeblies that go on the sides of basically all the other greeblies. I'm going to attach. I'm going to let that black paint on that one greebly set up a little bit, and then in an hour or so I'll put it on. Airbrushing, it dries pretty fast, but I like to let it cure just a little bit longer to harden up and before I handle it too much, you know. I always let my primer set for 24 hours before I paint. I don't think you have to, but I've gotten good results with that, so I keep doing it. Let's paint. Alright, I just glued these two greeblies on the stock. I tried to get it on camera, but like I was trying to use my laptop and the camera was over to the side and the angle was wrong and it blocked the whole shot. So unfortunately you guys don't get an action shot there, but you can see the after effect there. I think it looks pretty sweet. I'll post a better picture of this, but that's what the finish looked like on the actual prop, and that's why I don't want it. These are watermarked by Britt Dietz. So I'll throw that up on the screen and a couple others real quick so you can see how ugly this prop is. I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's part of the thing, but I'm like, is it? It doesn't read that way on camera. It reads black. So I'm making it the way I saw it in my mind when I watched the movie. That's why I'm doing it. Alright, one side is done. That's basically like what it's going to look like. I'm super excited about that. It looks so good. I love the way the stock turned out. I really do. I know it's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I love it. I just think it looks more, I don't know, more real than the actual prop. But yeah, I'm super excited about how that's turning out. I gotta wait for that glue to dry a little bit before I flip it over and start gluing the greeblies on the other side. Plus, I'm still waiting a little bit longer for that paint to dry. So, and then I want to put a little graphite powder on that freshly painted greebly because it's a little just, flat black. So, little graphite powder, and it'll give it a little bit of metallicness to it and give it a little age too. So yeah, almost there. I'm definitely gonna get it done today with hours to spare in the year, and we'll start off 2021 with no well, I take it back, we got the X-Wing helmet. I haven't officially started it yet. I announced it. I need to work on it. I got to get some time cut out for it, but now that this will be off my bench, out of my hair, there's nothing really to stop me other than life. All right, it has been several hours. I think I have 3 hours left in the day before it's 2021. Still got to do the other side. I got to put some graphite on that greebly to make it look a little bit metallic and a little bit more weathered. And then all I got to do is glue it on. And it's done. So I'm going to have 3 hours to spare. Well, maybe a little bit less. All right, there it is. It's funny that these greeblies are not in the same place or even the same orientation. Like on the other side, it's like a little bit back here. This one's a little bit further forward. Like they're both like shifted forward. So that's interesting. This is basically on the same side, but you have to make sure you get the notch on the right side. So there's two of them and they're opposites of each other. So gotta make sure you have the right one in the right place. All right, I've got several hours to spare and it's done. I am super stoked. I started this project in 2019. I want to say, I think I did. Did I? I'm gonna have to look. I'm not sure. But it's been on hold since February, and then until just recently getting these screws and escutcheons, which don't fit for me because the holes were drilled out too big. Got me back on this project, and really what the deciding factor of getting this working was me having that vise mounted to my bench, because that allowed me to crank down on the die to cut the threads deeper than I could with a die wrench. So it's kind of funny how things work out, but I could have done that like months ago because I've had this vise on here a long time now. Well, not a long time, but several months. yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, this project, and this year, thankfully. I will be having a retrospective video coming out here probably in a few days after this one, just kind of talking about what I did throughout the year, kind of what's coming up. You know, the typical crap. Same thing I did last year. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. I'm going to do a few beauty shots here, kind of do a few beauty passes for you guys. I'm going to try to set up something that looks a little bit better than just sitting on my workbench, because I don't really have an area to do that. So I'm going to try to figure something out. Anyways, enjoy it.